Hey Alpha fam, let's do a quick market update. Before we begin, I do want to say that nothing in this video is financial advice. Everything is for educational purposes only. This is just my own analysis on the market. Also, before we begin, if this is your first time to this channel, if you can please like, comment, and subscribe, we really do appreciate all of the support. Now let's get into this market, guys. So we've had a pretty good week so far, guys, but I don't think we're out the woodworks yet. We're going to talk about a couple of things. One is this is the hourly chart on Bitcoin. Honestly, the 4-hour chart, we just had the hourly restart. Bitcoin looks like it's trying to make this like descending bull wedge, kind of like a bull flag kind of pattern right here, is bull pendant. And honestly, guys, I think we're gonna get a continuation through the next few days, and I'll explain to you reasons why I think that. One is this: we have FOMC next week on the 10th. All right. So I think for the next few days, because it's the 4th, I think it's logical that we're basically creating this 5-wave pattern right here. And then through the next couple of days, I bet we float up to this $98,000 level where this 50 EMA is coming down to. So when we look at this level, as this 50 comes down, I think we reject off of it the first time. And the reason why I think we reject off of it is because we'll de-risk going into the FOMC. So we de-risk coming into the FOMC. And then if we get a dovish Powell, then the market should move up from that zone, break above the 50, and then want to come down and retest it as support. All right. Now, this is something that I am worried about. When this thing starts to come back up, one thing that we have happening on the end of this month, on the 18th, is the Bank of Japan is going to make decision to raise interest rates. If they raise interest rates that day, I believe probably a few days before it happens, we'll start seeing the market de-risk. All right. So this would make sense as us maybe making this peak right here, and then as us coming back down, because we would start coming down to de-risk for the Bank of Japan. And if they do raise interest rates, I believe we come back down. All right. It's just simple. I'll show you guys what happened last time the Bank of Japan raised interest rates. All right, I was around during this. I know a lot of guys in my community weren't around at that time, but I've been in crypto so long that I was around for this event. And this was one of the scariest events that I lived through in crypto. And you can see exactly what happened. This was the actual day they raised interest rates. Bitcoin dropped from like 58,000 all the way to 48,000. It was a very, very scary drop. Most alts did about a 50% decline that week, some more, some less. It was a very, very intense drop because it happened so fast. Obviously, we didn't go into a bear market. We recovered and made new all-time highs. But during that event was scary. And the reason why I think crypto was able to survive that event so much more than right now was because of the amount of optimism that was in the market during that time. This is pre-halving. This was the halving year, pre-post-halving year. We were waiting for Trump to get in office. Everybody was really bullish. ETFs were starting to go live. We started getting these market structure bills. All these things that we wanted, that we've been talking about for all these years prior, were starting to come to fruition. A lot of optimism during that time. Right now is a little bit different. People are still scared a little bit, guys. Like, the market is still in fear. I mean, you can clearly just come up to the fear and greed index. We're still in fear, guys. People are still scared of this market. Even though we're getting positive price reactions, people are still worried. Now, these peak great fears usually mark local bottoms. They do. You can kind of see how they've always marked these local bottoms. This is like with the tariff FUD. They marked local bottoms. I think we marked a local bottom here. But with that being said, if the Bank of Japan raises rates, it's not going to be something. What's going to end up happening is people are going to sell risk assets to pay off their loans. This is simply what's going to happen. So, want to be prepared for these things, guys. We deal with a set of probabilities, all right? And there's also talks that they're not going to raise interest rates. They have other things on the table. So, again, we also want to be cognitive of, are we actually getting a relief rally, or is this going to be a continuation? Well, I'll tell you this. I really like this weekly nail that we got, or this weekly hammer nail that we got, this bullish hammer, or this bullish nail that we got right here. I'll show you guys this pattern. It's right here. And this pattern right here, when you look at these, are very, very strong bullish reversal patterns. And especially on the week, Like, always kind of look at it like this. The weekly trumps the daily trumps the 4 hour, the 4 hour trumps, you know what I'm saying? So the lower the time frame, if you see something, if it's also not playing out in the higher time frame, that's just kind of how you have to look at it. The higher time frames have the higher probability of playing out. So this is a really good candle pattern right here, guys, and it looks really good. We also, with that being said, we want to make sure that Bitcoin's not actually, and most people aren't going to see this until it's too late, making this like head and shoulders pattern. We've talked about this, guys, where like we get this relief rally and then this thing actually even breaks above it. Everybody gets super bullish. Everybody thinks we're going, you know, back to Valhalla, and then we start showing massive weakness right here, and then we roll over, and then we end up coming back down, you know, somewhere to this $70,000 level. And then I think a lot of people aren't prepared for that scenario because they're not going to see it play out. They're not going to realize it's a head and shoulders pattern until it's right here getting ready to break down. So, not saying that's going to happen. I'm not in the camp that that's going to happen. I'm just saying that this is a probability and we want to be aware of it in the coming weeks. Monitoring this movements on the markets very closely, guys. Again, I am overall super bullish on crypto. It's the future of finance. If you don't believe me, I mean, you go do a little bit of research. It's that simple. All right. Also, if you're actually trying to learn this stuff, if you actually want to learn about digital assets, if you want to learn about macro fundamentals, technical analysis, if you want to learn to network with a band of entrepreneurs all really working together to really outperform this market, click the link below, guys. We'll see you inside.